So let's talk about a quick deployment overview. Now, we're not going to get into how you actually install the components. That'll be in the next course. But there are a little bit of complexities to the IaaS component. It's not simply just a virtual appliance you deploy. Now, I wish it was, but unfortunately it's not that easy. So I wanted to quickly outline the deployment overview, and then again, in the next course, the install configured, will really get into how you actually deploy those components. So the IaaS component can be installed either on a physical or virtual Windows server. It doesn't really matter. I usually do it on a virtual because I have a policy of, unless it specifically has to be on a physical, if you can give me a really good reason, I do it virtually. That way we can take advantage of all the things that vSphere provides us. So in my case, there's really no reason not to run it as a virtual, so I do. It does require the following prereqs. So what you'll do is you'll lay down a Windows OS. I just use a template. You use Windows Server. You use 2008, 2012. And then once you have that up and running, you need to install the following items. You need .NET Framework 4.5, so this is a .NET application. You need PowerShell 2.0 for some of the scripting components. And then you need IIS 7.5, and that's the web server piece that serves up some of this data and is responsible for communication. Now, as we said before when we looked at the architecture overview, this does require an external SQL Server database. This cannot use the Postgres database that we saw on the VCAC server side. This actually requires an external SQL Server database connection. So keep that in mind when you're architecting this. Also from a licensing perspective, right? So Postgres doesn't require a license, but Microsoft SQL Server does. So you'll need to account for that if you don't already have one or if it's not included in an ELA type situation. You'll need to have a license for that. Now, once you have it deployed, it actually uses connectors, APIs, and standard protocols such as TCP/IP. We can use Pixie Boot for starting up physical servers, but that's how it communicates with those external endpoints. So once it's deployed, it's very similar to traditional enterprise deployment systems in how it uses those standard methods to talk to external endpoints. And that's really what the IaaS components are meant to do.